And hello again, everybody. This is Chris, MTGO's Rex Dart, and we're here with part 4 of this week's show and tell series, wrapping up coverage for the week. Looking at Slug 360's Zombie Bombardment deck, which he played to a first place finish in Tribal Apocalypse 117. And Slug has sent me some replays, which we're going to cover. I've picked out 3 of them that I think show off what his zombie deck can do. And first, we're going to look at him playing against Big Brothers, who is using his Naya mid-range beast deck. I actually think in a vacuum that the mid-range beast deck Big Brothers plays could have a very good matchup against this deck. The planeswalkers are not necessarily easy to deal with. They're all out of abrupt decay range, for instance. And the creatures that it has at its disposal are beefy enough to get in the way of a early aggro rush. And again, something like an Johnny Vengeance gives Big Brothers a way to get sort of incremental advantage to grind out the deck. But it's going to prove here that the Gravecrawler Goblin Bombardment combo ends up being just enough in a few spots here to just barely take down Big Brother's Planeswalkers, and that will be the difference. But again, in a vacuum, I think that it's something like Big Brother's deck should have a pretty fair matchup against this. At the very least, you get a pretty good interactive game. But we see here that being able to take out both of those Planeswalkers is huge, and Big Brothers must be full of blanks here because he had no play there. He has no red mana, and perhaps that's what he's holding on to, and that may be frustrating him. At this point, if he doesn't have an answer for this, he's going to be able to do 5 damage a turn to anything with the Goblin Bombardment, and so Big Brothers just sees the writing on the wall there and scoops. But again, at least in theory, those sort of battle of the mid-range deck against the aggro deck, the mid-range deck might take it, but both decks in that case have grindy ways to gain card advantage. Now we're going to go ahead and look at this match against Just Cancelled, who is playing, I believe, a Sliver deck. There are a bunch of Sliver decks this week. There are like 5 of them. Let's see here. Okay. Got a Diagraph Ghoul. And this is going to be an example of a very aggressive start from the zombie deck. Got Deathrite Shaman and a Putrid Leech in hand, a couple more lands. Not an awful lot of gas here, but he's going to top deck enough pressure to keep things going. Crystal and Sliver comes down, but the Putrid Leech is going to be able to handle that, and Just Cancel doesn't want to trade it for a Diagraph Ghoul either. That's the other thing about zombies. You just hate to trade your guys for any of these because the Gravecrawler keeps coming back. Messenger is really annoying to have to trade with. And we see Fire here. Just Cancelled is actually playing like a 5-color Sliver list that seems to have Isochron Scepter, Fire Ice combo sort of stapled onto it. But it was successful in the event, anyways, not enough going on here. Maybe he's a little short on mana, whatever. But the fast start here from Slug 360, Putrid Leech really showing his power, just like he did in the old days of Alara Standard Jund in the beatdown role there. So quickly dispatching the Sliver deck by Just Cancelled. And then finally, I'm going to take a look at this match here. This is Robin88. Is playing the Cephalid Breakfast deck, which I've discussed multiple times here, and he leads on Nomads and Core. And since he's on the play, if he has the Cephalid Illusionist, he could go off as early as turn 2. However, it will turn out that he does not have it in hand at that point, or he almost certainly would have played it here. Because the Deathrite Shaman is now going to lock him out of doing that. So now Robin may have removal for this Deathrite Shaman, but we're going to see here in a second that Slug's going to rip a second Deathrite Shaman, which is going to end up forcing Robin to abandon the plan here. But Robin's going to ponder. He's coming out with a Core Duelist. He's probably thinking he's going to go on the beatdown plan here. The core missionary, or the lone missionary, a nice way for these core decks to try to buy some time. He's not terrible as a 2-power or 2-drop anyways, but buy some time with that life gain against aggro. Now we see the second Deathrite Shaman come down, and here's joined by a Carrion Feeder. And the Looter Core will smash in, and he will discard his Cephalid Illusionist because he now sees that Slug is not going to get caught with his pants down. He's going to leave the 1 mana up to take out whatever we got, whatever Dread Return target would be. And now that Cabal Therapy he named Abrupt Decay. I'm not sure what he was trying to protect. Possibly the Stoneforge Mystic, which we'll see him deploy here in a minute. But anyways, he names Abrupt Decay and then flashes back, sacking this guy off to get rid of Liliana, figuring probably correctly at this point that with the combo basically dead in the water because of these Deathrite Shamans, he's going to try to win on the ground, and he doesn't want that Liliana gumming up the works. Blood Crypt comes in untapped, and we have an Imperial Recruiter. And I mentioned in my deck tech, let me pause it here, because the Imperial Recruiter, it does have a few tutor targets, but I think really the way to look at it in this deck, having watched all these replays, is that Slug is kind of using it just for value, and it's pretty good in the value role in this deck. There's a lot of ways to sacrifice it off. It's a 1/1 creature that lets you search up another creature, so it's basically not at the cost of a card, and then you can sometimes get a card's worth of value or more off of being able to sacrifice it in a timely situation, whether you're just chump blocking with it or sacrificing it to a Carrion Feeder or what have you. So just a good value creature in a lot of regards. Robin88 is going to drop a 5th land here, and I think maybe he has a Batterskull. Maybe he does this post-combat. The Looter's going to come in, get rid of that Cephalid Illusionist. And yeah, here's a Batterskull, and now that's going to, even though the 2 active Deathrite Shamans are going to be very difficult to overcome in this position. But Robin obviously hoping the life gain can do something. Now he's going to put it on the Looter, because since it has Shadow, it can give him that 10-point life swing every turn to try to counteract what these Deathrite Shamans are doing. So Slug uses the Deathrite Shamans to gain back some life, and then crashes in here, manages to knock Robin88 down to 10. And he's going to play the Crypt Champion. Crypt Champion, when it comes into the battlefield, each player returns a creature with converted mana cost 3 or less to the battlefield from their graveyard, so he's going to get that Imperial Recruiter back. The Imperial Recruiter is going to bring up a Putrid Leech, so we can start bashing in with that Putrid Leech. And Looter Core will come in again for another big life swing. No mana left here for the Deathrite Shamans to do anything on this turn. And Nomads and Core comes back down, but no Illusionist being played here. He would have caught him without any mana up to... well, no, I guess he could have used the 1 Deathrite Shaman, yes, that's right, to exile his land to make the mana for the other one. So still the correct play for Robin88 not to go for it there, because the 2 Shamans in tandem could have done it even while tapped out. Now we've got Geralf's Messenger, and those of you who are familiar with the Geralf's Messenger in Standard know that he can do 4 damage in turn when you have a sack outlet out, and so you always got to be cognizant of that. And one of the things I love about playing zombies in Legacy is that good old Carrion Feeder does that role quite nicely, rather than having to rely on the 4-mana Falconwrath Aristocrat. And so after all these blocks are all said and done, lo and behold, all the damage he redirected over there from the Nomads and Core, he goes down to 4. And unfortunately for Robin88, here comes Geralf's Messenger, putting him down to 2, which will then get sacked to the Carrion Feeder, come back and finish Robin88 off. So it shows you that the Zombies deck, whether or not it gets the bombardment down, The zombie deck has the resiliency that a lot of aggro decks don't have, and I think that's one of the things that makes it very strong. So, anyways, I thank you for joining me this week for the show and tell series. And next week, I may or may not have a segment. I have to prepare for a jury trial I'm prosecuting on Thursday. So if I have a segment, it may be very short, or the trial may settle at the last minute. I don't know what's going on. So, anyways, hopefully join me next week. If not, I should be back in a couple of weeks at the normal time. So, anyways, thanks, and I will see you guys later.